Today I fucked up by catching a mouse twice, upset my cat and girlfriend, and the mouse is still running around my house. I live out in the country, and it's been ridiculously cold here the last few days, so the local rodents are doing their best to get in and find someplace warm to stay. I ended up with a mouse running around the house, which is annoying as we've got 3 lazy freeloading cats whose only job, besides being cute, is to keep mice out of the house. They have, thus far, failed dismally. We set out some no-kill mouse traps a few days ago, and overnight last night we catch the little bugger. My 11-year-old daughter immediately falls in love with it and offers to release it on the other end of the property after she does her chores. He sets the mouse trap down on the counter and we both split off to do our own jobs. Somehow, the mouse gets out of the trap. Not sure how, but we get back after about 30 minutes and the trap is empty. Later in the day, one of the cats is spending an unusual amount of time in the bathroom, sniffing around the base of one of the cabinets. Because the cat, his name is Boots, is a lazy good-for-nothing house cat with a long and storied history of being kind of dumb, I just assume he's seen a greeble and proceed to pay no attention to him. After a frankly embarrassing amount of time, I finally realize I'm as thick as weak old pudding and connect the cat acting odd and the missing mouse. I go in the bathroom and tilt the cabinet forwards. Boots, who, I should add, has never seen a mouse in his life, instantly dives behind it. A short tussle ensues, and about 3 seconds pass before he comes strolling out from behind the cabinet with the mouse clamped in his jaws. The 11-year-old, who is still in love with this mouse, darts into action and pries the wriggling mouse away from the cat. The mouse was fine, no injuries, no blood. As far as I could tell, it was in perfect health. She carries it across the house to the front door, right past my bemused girlfriend, and I take the mouse by its tail while my daughter puts her shoes on. As I regale my girlfriend with the deeds of Mr. Boots, here he comes strutting across the house, and it was, unmistakably, a strut. The first thing that I think is, this would make a great picture. I, in my infinite wisdom, proceed to tell my girlfriend to get her camera opened while I reach down to pick up Boots. It's the perfect moment to commemorate the lazy, good-for-nothing cat, who spends his days eating, sleeping, and thinking up new and interesting places in the house to hide his poop, has actually done something productive and downright impressive. I prepare to pose for the picture, with the mouse dangling by its tail in one hand and cat tucked under my other arm. I smile, my girlfriend raises the camera, and in that moment it all falls apart. The cat spots the mouse dangling not a foot from its face. The world comes to a grinding halt. The stage is set for a storm of perfect circumstance. It was in this moment that I realized I'd fucked up and outplayed myself. In slow motion, I watch Boots freeze. His eyes dilate straight to hunter mode. I see the wheels turning in his head. His paw pulls back. With every modicum of strength his little body possesses, he reaches out and smacks the dangling, wriggling mouse. It yanks free of my fingers and arcs directly at my girlfriend's face. The mouse crosses the distance in the time it took my girlfriend's face to contort in fear. It hit her squarely on the chin, and before she had time to do anything but gasp, the mouse performed an impressive feat of parkour, launching itself into the air and across the kitchen counter. I watch it disappear on the other side of the counter, and before I had time to run around it, the mouse had vanished as completely as if he never existed. So here I am, outsmarted by a mouse twice in one day. My daughter thinks the whole situation is hilarious. I agree with her. Boots is pissed at me because I let his dinner get taken away from him. I see his point. My girlfriend is furious that I threw a mouse at her and she says it's all my fault that it escaped. She's not wrong, although I'm apparently an ass for blaming the cat, and I still have a mouse in the house. Drive, caught a mouse twice in one day, it got away twice, and now my cat and my girlfriend are both pissed at me and I still have a mouse in my house. Don't release the mouse on your property, he'll just come back in. Make sure to drop it off at least 1 mile from your home, or just kill it. With every modicum of strength his little body possesses, he reaches out and smacks the dangling, wriggling mouse. It yanks free of my fingers and arcs directly at my girlfriend's face. Following the accepted logic that cats are assholes, Boots knew exactly what he was doing. He saw his chance to punish you for your transgressions, lined up his shot and sealed your place on the couch tonight. That was really funny. You have a way with words, if not mice. You created a smart mouse. I've done battle with mice in the desert and in the mountains. They learn from their mistakes and the deaths of a comrade. You won't catch it in a no-kill trap again. Your cat may, but the mouse will avoid it like the plague, which is transmitted through fleas on wild rodents BTW, and still exists in nature. Colorado has had some cases in the past few years. It's really not great to hold wild animals, even just a mouse. I find my dogs are better mousers than any cat I've ever had. One of dogs has over 20 kills I know of under her belt. This mouse is going to breed and teach its offspring about the traps it's already aware of. If you start setting kill traps as you pick them off, the others will learn of the danger. My husband used to get paid to do this thing called a home seal to keep rodents out. You basically examine your exterior for any possible point of entry and seal it. If it's a big gap, shove some steel wool in and hit it with silicone caulking. They won't chew through that. They only need a 1/4 inch gap to enter your home. It's the only way to directly deal with a growing infestation. I hope you only have the one mouse, but they are social and breed really fast, so you may think I'm joking, but I'm really not. If you have one mouse in the house, you have more than one mouse in the house. Okay, this made me feel uncomfortable. Damn. Today I fucked up by almost cutting off my cat's penis. This requires some context. My cat has very long, fine hair that, despite getting brushed every day, often clumps together, particularly under his arms and between his legs, because, you know, friction. When he gets little clumps in his fur, it's usually because he got litter stuck in it, so I usually just cut it out with scissors, so that they don't clump any further. So tonight, after coming home from work, it was once again time for grooming, where I noticed he had several little knots that I couldn't brush out, so I took out the scissors. Since he hates being groomed, I usually let him lay down however he's comfortable, and just feel around for clumps and cut them by separating them from the skin as far as possible via the brush and then cutting them out. You probably know where this is going now. Anyway, so after cutting out several little clumps of fur, I feel another knot. So I take the brush, try to brush out the knot, but it's a stubborn one and doesn't move. At this point, the cat was getting noticeably uncomfortable. I try for a bit longer, but it's still too close to the skin to cut it. So I do the next logical thing, and grab the knot and pull lightly to get it out. Cat is trying to run away, but I hold him in place to get the job down, because I don't want him to walk around with matted fur all around his butt. At this point, I'm pretty certain that I could just quickly cut the knot in half and brush it down from there. So I take my scissor, flip him over, ready to commit a bloody atrocity, when I finally notice that that's not a knot. It's his peen. Cat is completely terrified because I just sexually assaulted him. I'm completely terrified because I touched my cat's peen. Even the damn birds on the windowsill are completely terrified because they had to bear witness to what I just done. In the end, he forgave me, but I don't know if I can do the same. I already took this poor lad's balls, and now I almost claimed the last remains of his manhood too. Too long didn't read, mistook cat's peen for matted fur. Tried to cut it. We are both traumatized now. Edit, thanks to everyone who informed me using scissors is unsafe. I'm currently looking into other options. I appreciate the recommendations. But I also want to say, since some people seemed to skip that part, I do separate the fur from the skin with a comb before I cut it, above the comb. That's why I flipped him over before going any further. I might be a bit dense, but I'm not that negligent, lol. Edit 2, cat tax. I read the title and the first line and I dropped my phone in surprise. Today I fucked up, almost cut my cat's penis. My cat has a very long. Even the damn birds on the windowsill are completely terrified because they had to bear witness to what I just done. I guarantee they were laughing their asses off at their arch nemesis getting the old Sweeney Todd to the old pecker. When I was a kid, I thought I found a tick on my dog. Thought I'd just cut it off with a razor. Just as I was about to, I noticed that there were 2 rows of 3, equidistant Thank God you didn't snip and thought about it. This is one of the reasons that a person should never try and cut mats out of a pet's fur. Too frequently owners cut the skin instead of just the mat. Mats are often dangerously close to the skin. Take your dog or cat to a groomer or vet to have it carefully done. Today I fucked up when my mom opened a dildo I got from a sugar daddy. Haha, wow, I've never looked through this subreddit, but I have a story from 3 years ago and in hindsight it's kind of funny, but during it was absolutely the worst experience I had with my parents being upset towards me. Story usually kills, but I think it's also important to hear for anyone struggling with depression, gender dysphoria, and the like, so PLS don't remove mods. Embarrassed smiley face. This is kind of a long story but is a legit movie or something of being unlucky every step of the way, so I guarantee it's worth the read. So, context: had a house fire after graduating high school, lost everything including our 2 cats, finally rebuilt and moved back in after a few years of renting and still lived with parents. We ended up buying some more clothes when we moved back from Value Village. This whole time I've been dealing on and off with gender dysphoria, and at this point I really wanted some girl clothes again. So I snuck into my pile of clothes a flannel and some skinny jeans. Thankfully no one noticed. I was so happy, and of course wanted to try them on. Again was even more happy with how I looked, so of course I took some selfies. Mainly just body pics, no face, just butts and hips, nothing NSFW. At this point I was aware of Reddit but never used it really, but was aware of r/traps and r/femboys and the like. So I decided to post my selfies, which I've never done anything like that before. So it was scary but nice to just be me, you know. So surprisingly I got a bunch of upvotes, and as someone that never uses Reddit I was completely shocked and super excited people liked me, as anyone would. Of course, I got a bunch of messages of guys being guys. I mean, it's exactly what you think they'd say. But people were asking a common question: do you have a wish list? At this point my outlook changed, because I also didn't have a job or a car at the time. I realized, oh, this could be a job. So I made a wish list with cosplays, some toys, and some wigs. And of course some guy was gracious enough to buy me like $100 worth of toys and 2 wigs. Now this is where the story takes a turn, haha. So to my parents I'm a shy 20-year-old boy that plays games in his room all day. So in my mind, I decided that I wouldn't tell them any package was coming because I wasn't confident in lying about why someone that has no job was getting something in the mail. Which I know for a fact if I just said I was getting something, I could have avoided all this. Well, one day I'm playing games on Discord with my friends, just chilling. Little did I know what was currently happening. A package comes from Amazon, my mom picks it up, thinking it's something she ordered for the new house. Because again, I didn't tell her, so she had no reason to check the name. She cuts open the box, removes the wrap, a massive 12-inch squirting dildo is revealed, veins and all. She begins to scream my name over and over and my heart drops. It couldn't be the package, right? I come out and she's loosely holding the box at its pointed edges. Haha, that's crazy mom. It must be a prank, haha, that thing's so big. That was my story and she believed it. At this point my dad knows nothing and was outside. We decide to toss it in the trash and not involve him, a pretty homophobic father notorious for joking about gay couples, saying, "Do you want to be the husband or do you want to be the wife?" So I begrudgingly tossed it. But of course I wasn't having it. Someone bought this for me, and I wanted it. So I snuck out and took it out of the box and brought it back to my room, super stressed out. At this point I guess my mom told my dad, so he came back to my room pissed, saying he didn't want any of that in his house. And so I played it off and he left my room not knowing not even a foot from him under my bed was this massive meat. After like 3 hours of me chilling in my room trying to act like nothing's going on in Discord, my mom comes in my room and closes the door. At this point, how the day has been going, she has to know I took it. That's just my luck, and it was the case. So I went out to check the box in the garbage, and it was gone. So I told her someone sent it and I just wanted to take pic to say I got it and put it back. She was confused but kind of accepted it and gave me a game strategy to get it back out to the trash without my dad seeing. Something I never brought up that makes this all even riskier. Since we had the fire, my parents got a bunch of cameras on the house because it was arson. So me taking said scepter out of the trash and having to put it back, knowing they could check the cameras at any point and probably see their son goblining around with this huge sausage outside, was probably the most anxiety-inducing task I had to achieve. Me still committing to my choice, I still wanted to give it a test run, you know? I mean, at this point I got this far with this massive problem, I might as well try it out, right? So it took it in the shower. Once I was done, I snuck out, placed it back in the trash and came back in. I made it. The task was done. Haha, the only problem, if you remember, it wasn't one toy, it was 3, including that one and 2 wigs. These have not showed up yet, so at this point I'm panicking. What do I do? More are coming and I can't hide the truth if they find the others. And I can't learn from my mistake and just tell them something's coming, because that'd probably be the dumbest thing to do. Days passed as I was on edge, waiting for a single package to come, just waiting to rush out and take it, hoping no one sees me. I waited. And waited. And waited. Then the day came. A bunch of boxes come in. As the FedEx driver is handing us packages and we're placing them on the porch, I notice one with my name on it. It's here. As we start bringing packages in, I decide to try and sneak it to my room. Of course my dad sees me bring this box to my room and I made some dumb excuse, and then came back to help bring in boxes. After my mom says, "Your dad said you brought a package to your room. Let's open it." At this point I just can't believe my luck. I'm certain of what's in this box, but I'm wishing it's just the wigs or something, you know. I grab a knife, I walk to said package on my bed as my mom stands there. I slowly start opening the box. I peel the box open. It's another dildo and 2 wigs. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Cool. At this point I have the conversation, not about me having dysphoria but about posting to Reddit and getting stuff in the mail. He's upset and of course says, "It's because you're cooped up in your room every day, you need to get out and stop talking to these guys." Which of course this was something I was dealing with before, but she shifted the blame. The shitty part is I believed her. I thought I was still being rebellious and should trust my mom, an adult. So I deleted all my posts and prayed the gay away basically. If you're keeping track, there's still one unaccounted for though. Finally it came in a small box. My dad tossed it in my room and told me to throw it away. At this point he wasn't talking to me or looking at me. Of course as time went on things got better and normal again, but I still was faking myself getting more depressed as time went on. I have now since moved out and am on antidepressants, and I'm honestly happier than I thought I could have ever been, just being who I want to be. I recognize the circumstance was terrible and some might argue it wasn't completely my fault, but I know that my complacent attitude at the beginning lent to me causing an avoidable issue. Again, as something huge that actually happened in my life, I think it's important for people to hear. Not only from a certain angle can it be funny that my mom opened a huge dildo, but also is important to hear that you should be yourself and don't let anyone tell you who you are. I hate that I listened to her because I wasted so much of my life not being happy, and to someone that has gender dysphoria, the older you get, the worse it gets when untreated. Oh, please laugh at my story, but also please, 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 just be you. Too long didn't read. I posted to a trap subreddit pictures of me, got a huge dildo in the mail, and because we moved and I didn't tell her I was getting a package, my mom opened it on accident.